Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Apologetically Me. I am Maggie.
I'm Wanda.
And today, Wanda and Maggie are going back to school. We're going to do a deep dive into our elementary school days, middle school, and high school days and share some advice for you listeners. But first, we're going to get into our quarantine update. Wanda, tell the people what you got going on.
So, my update is a coffee invention that's probably been out there for a pretty long time, and I'm just hopping onto the train. But it's a protein cold brew coffee that is very similar to Starbucks's old sweet cream cold brew. They actually remade it, and now it's just like the sweet cream is like more of a foam rather than like a heavy liquid type of thing. So, it's not as good as it once was. It's also $5 to $6, and we don't want to pay that because that's a lot of money for coffee. But basically, what I do is I buy either the pitcher packs of the Starbucks cold brew, which you just pour water in it and then you put the packs in, you steep it overnight, and then you just add more water, take the packs out, very easy. Or you buy the concentrate, which is you just add water to it. One is, I think the pitcher packs are cheaper because it's like a DIY. It's not that much harder. So you can buy it at like Winners, Home Sense in Canada, and then the concentrate itself, which is like a liquid form, you can buy on Amazon for $7.99. Don't buy it in stores. It's much more expensive and you have to pay taxes. And then you mix that with like a protein shake of any kind. I've been really liking the vanilla Fairlife protein shake or the Premier protein shake. They're both very low in sugar, low in fat, and very high in protein. And it tastes exactly like the Villa Sweet Cream Cold Brew for like half the price.
Yo, I would die for the vanilla sweet cream cold brew.
I wish you had it when it first came out. Like it was the best drink that Starbucks has ever come out with, second to the
Still pretty
Nitro.
good. Wait, what's different about it now?
They What they did before was they mixed everything. So it was heavy cream, vanilla syrup, and I think it was like 2% milk or something, or like skim milk, any kind of milk in it, and they like mix that together and they put it into like a pitcher. But what they do now is they blend it up in like a blender, so it's like very foamy and like it's not as because like the foam takes up a lot of space, right? So you don't get as much, and it's more of like a light, airy cream than it is like an actual like heavy kind of cream that like sits into your coffee.
I stand by what I said. I still love the vanilla sweet cream cold brew, but I'm gonna try your way now because that sounds way cheaper.
Yeah, it honestly is. And like the cold brew tastes exactly the same, if not better. Because like
Mm.
you get to, I guess, control how long you steep it for if you get the pitcher packs, and you can control like how much caffeine. I wouldn't recommend just drinking like straight concentrate, like just drinking the without adding any water to it because I feel like you'd be like off the walls.
I when I have like a lot of the cold brew, I feel like I get a heart attack. Like my heart races so fast. I have so much anxiety. But I feel like it's a good way to wake up, like give yourself a heart attack to wake up every now and then.
Again, not great advice. We are not
Literally.
nutritionists. Please do not take health advice from us.
So my first week of work, like pre-COVID, like every morning I would stop by, like get a cold brew on my way in. And like throughout the day, I was like, holy shit, like why do I have so much anxiety? Why is my heart racing so much? I'm like, wow, this must be like new job anxiety. But then I stopped drinking the cold brew because of COVID. And I was like, wait, I'm like way more calm now. Oh shit, is it the cold brew?
That's funny you say that because, fun fact, their nitro cold brew, they won't sell you a venti because the venti has more than your recommended daily dose of caffeine. So they will only sell you a grande, which is their medium. But I mean, they won't stop you from buying two. So,
Yeah, if you want to fuck up your life, go for it. So, my quarantine update is if you don't remember my brother Nick from last episode, he had black hair. Recently, he has been getting tired of his hair and he like messages in our group chat or like our family group chat and it's like, I'm gonna dye my hair silver. And I'm like, okay, like Wanda dyed her hair silver before or bleached it silver before at a salon. Took like a long time, looked great. Cool, go for it. And then he like gets to the salon and they're like, hey, you've never bleached your hair before. It's like jet black. We cannot bleach this silver. Have you considered blue? And Nick was like, hey, like fuck me up. Like I'm tired of black. Let's do it. So he comes home and like without saying anything, he's like, Maggie, I'm ninja. And I was like, what do you mean you're a ninja? But I see now that he's referring to the Twitch streamer Ninja, aka the man I also very hate. And his hair is like bright blue, literally the same color as Ninja. We'll put a picture of Nick and Ninja here. And I'm like, ugh. Did not say anything, took a picture, sent it to our family group chat, and was like, look what happened. And yeah, that's the most wild thing that's been happening this week.
What did your mom say?
My mom's first reaction was, oh my God, what did you do?
Like, was it like a good, oh my God, what did you do?
No, because I went to see her later. And well, no, I asked her, like, hey, what did you think? And her reaction was, ugh, her covering her face. She was like, it's his life. He's 23 years old. What can you do? Let him live. I'm like, okay, cool, go for it.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty for the salon as well to say that they could, I guess, get him to silver, but then when they actually like when he came in for it, they're like, yeah, we can't do that.
Like, Seti, we did not know. I don't know the logistics of what he said to them on the phone, but he was like pretty confident, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And he came home within like an hour or two. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is very fast.
I see this a lot on the internet where people like hairdressers are like, "Oh yeah, I can do that for you." But then when you go in, they're like, "Oh, I can't actually do that." Or like they give you something that's like not what you want even though like there was like a mutually agreed upon, I guess, contract of like they could do this.
Mhm.
So it's like really scummy of people to do that. But on the bright side of all of this is that Maggie now looks very different from her brother, and no one will ever be
Yay.
able to
No one will be
mistake
like,
them.
oh, you guys are related? This is a shock. One of the you guys has blue hair, and one of you has black hair.
Yeah, that is, you can't be related. You can't have the same mom. Or maybe different dads. Maybe his dad
Yeah.
had blue hair.
Is your dad a Smurf?
I just want to say that I am impartial. I've never said what my opinion is on the hair.
Yeah, he won't watch this, don't worry. Moving on to beef of the week. Bow bow bow. Wanda, tell the people what your beef is.
My beef is, well, my beef is my mom. She's been on the phone a lot recently. Like she works a lot, kind of has like two jobs, but for some reason, the time when she is not working, she is always on the phone, whether it be talking to her twin sister or like she talks to her like an hour every single night, or like if it's her friends or something. She's always on the phone recently. And they're not like short, like 10-minute conversations. They're like at a minimum an hour to 2 hours. Just recently, thank the Lord, she decided to start wearing headphones because before what she'd do is put her phone on speaker and then scream into her phone. And I could hear her from the basement when I'm sitting upstairs. Like that's how loud it was in our house. And like she'd like I was always tell her to like, hey mom, can you like speak a little bit more quietly? And she's like, oh, like are you on the phone? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get some work done. Like I can't hear myself think when you're screaming at this decibel. That just might be like a parent thing. Put things on speakerphone and then yell into your phone.
Yeah, I it's funny because I do the same thing, but mostly because I don't want to put my phone to my face and my phone kind of sucks on phone calls. And my mom does the exact same thing. Also my brother. I threaten to turn off the Wi-Fi a lot, so I feel your pain. Good beef, good quality beef. Oh
Thank you.
baby.
What is your beef of the week then?
It's Nick's hair. We got into another argument. Okay, first we were just joking around. We're just sitting, laughing, trying to decide what we want for lunch. And then, well, we got food poisoning. But before leading up to that, I was like, Nick, this is why no one likes you or your hair. And I said, JK, JK, JK. And then he said, wow, that's so mean. How could you say this to me? Like, I'm sensitive about my hair. This is so mean of you. This was way over the line. And he kept going on and on. And I said, I'm sorry, I was just joking. Like I didn't mean it. I don't like his hair. And then he said, wow, like I'm gonna bring this up for the next like 2 weeks. I can't believe you'd say this to me. Like, wow, this is so rude. Like you just don't know like where to stop with joking. And this continued on. I'll put a screenshot of our text conversation. Um, yeah, it's nonstop. Every week we find a new reason to fight.
Yeah, I asked Maggie if she would fight the same way if it was like with another friend or like with like a significant other. And she's like, yeah. So it's not just because of, I guess, their brother sister relationship. It's
Okay,
just
if
who Nick is
if
as a person.
If all the stuff between me and Nick transferred to another person, I think I would still fight because I'm thinking of all like my past friendships, and I think we would also fight a lot.
This just begs the whole question of like why you still wanted siblings. Like I live such a peaceful life. I don't have like these constant fights with like siblings and stuff that I have to deal with. Now that I'm older, I don't fight with my parents that much either. So it's like my life is just calm and I don't get angry over like family stuff like this. And like I don't know how you deal with this
You
and
know what?
why you're okay with it.
Okay. How I see it is if you're too at peace, you're gonna try to start drama somehow, or you're going to like seek some sort of thrill, you know? This is my thrill in life. I could be worse. I could be shoplifting or something. If this is my outlet, it's fine.
Um,
Maybe if anyone has any like free therapy out there for me.
if you watched last episode, you can see how Maggie has like big chaotic energy when she's with her family. So
Yeah,
maybe
I like
that's
to
why.
think I'm a very like calm, easy going person. Would you say that I am?
Um,
Oh, okay. So clearly, I have a warped sense of self. Clearly, I'm not as calm and at peace as I think I am.
I think like you're passive aggressively calm. We're gonna talk about this like because we are going back to school. Me and Maggie went to high school together, and she led this club that essentially like raised money for like charities and stuff. And there was a lot of times during this period of time when she was like leading the club where she was very passive aggressively calm. And it was like you could tell that she was angry and freaking out on the inside, but on the outside, she was like, no, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. I'll deal with it. And it's like kind of scary. And like, this is why I wouldn't say Maggie is like a calm person. I think she tries to act calm, and I think she thinks that she's calm, but she's not calm.
Okay, this is an eye opener. Tell me how you really feel. Yeah, I'm changing my beef of the week to Wanda. I can't believe this is all coming out now on this podcast. So today's topic is surviving school. We're going back to school. We're gonna talk through our elementary school days, middle school, and high school. How have we changed? How have we regressed during quarantine? We'll let you decide. Okay, let's talk about elementary school first. So elementary school is from the ages of 6 to okay, yeah, 6 to 10, I want to say. So grade 1 to grade 5 was elementary school for me.
I agree with that.
Some people I know had like one like big school from grade 1 to grade 8. I did not.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I mean, I moved around a lot as a kid, so I technically didn't go to the same school
Hmm.
from elementary school to middle school, but like both the schools I went to were like K to 8.
Okay. So elementary school. Who were you in elementary school, Wanda?
I have oh wait, actually I have some clue. This is actually so I came to Canada when I was 3, and then due to like my parents having to find work and everything and not having time to kind of like take care of a kid when they're like studying and interviewing and everything, they sent me back to China. So I didn't come back until I was like 5 and a half-ish. And in elementary school, they made me take like ESL classes. So this is like grade 1 and like half of grade 2, I would be in like ESL. And I don't remember much of it, and like I don't remember what we learned, and I don't even know if it was that helpful, but I did it. I speak English now. So like
So it worked.
yeah, I guess you could say like what is that thing? Like causation does not equal correlation, or correlation does not
Correlation
equal
does not equal
yeah,
causation.
that. I mean,
You're a success story. Way to go. You showed them.
yeah, not at all because like children pick up languages really easily at a young age. Definitely not because of that. But yeah, I was that weird ESL kid. Didn't
ESL
re-
kids are not weird. Clarify.
yeah, like but like you know how like bullying and everything, like I didn't really
Mhm,
have any friends. Very
mhm.
difficult to communicate with, I guess, other people my age. Like I think people were like very nice to me, but it was like very fake nice because they were like trying to include me, but like they would just like exclude me in every other chance they got kind of thing. It got better. It got better, and then it got worse, and then I got better.
Yeah.
That's who I
I
was.
I can agree with that. It gets better. If you're in elementary school listening to this, just know that it gets better.
It gets better, but then it gets worse for a long time, and then it gets better again.
Yeah, so if you're 5 to 10 listening to this, we got you.
Yeah. Who are you?
Who am I? This is a question I ask myself every single day. Um, I think I was kind of weird. Like I never really fit in with people, and I think I was annoying. I remember two very distinct things. I asked a lot of questions, and that I had really bad haircuts.
Hmm.
Uh, because like they would try to give me cute haircuts, but I'm a very like fidgety person. So I kept getting like crooked haircuts and bowl cuts. And yeah, I looked gross.
My mom would
Maybe,
literally stick me in a tub and put a bowl on top of my head and then cut my hair. So I was the definition of having a bowl cut.
yeah, I remember like never really fitting in with people, like even people I considered friends. Like, we didn't really hang out. It's hard because it was like so long ago, and I feel like I blocked stuff out. Like there was some stuff later that we talk about, like our memorable moments. And I was talking to my friends, and they brought up milk monitors, and I was like, "What the hell are milk monitors?" I literally do not remember this either. And I talked to you about it. I talked to someone from Mississauga about this. I talked to Stony Creek people. Like I talked to everyone, and literally everyone had milk monitors, but my school apparently, and like another school, but.
Can we have a definition of what you think a milk monitor is?
So a milk monitor is children who distribute prepaid milk to other children.
Okay. So the way that I thought about milk monitors originally was students, like older students who would go watch younger students and help them during lunch. So like if they needed to peel an orange or like peel a tangerine or something or like open their milk or something, like that's what you'd do. You'd like watch over them so you'd give like the teachers a break. My school had both.
Yes. Like to me the concept is so weird. Like what? Like who is stealing milk? Why do you need someone to monitor the milk? That's why I was very confused. But we had a vending machine.
We also, when I was in grade one and grade two, my school had a milk vending machine. Later on, when I was in like grade three to five, I went to a different school that didn't have the vending machine, but we had milk monitors,
Poor ass
or
school.
yeah, what you call milk monitors. I guess like the school that I went to from three to five was like a brand new school. It had just opened. Okay, wait. So with milk monitors, what they did for us was like at the beginning of the year or like at the beginning of like a semester or whatever. I don't know what they're called in elementary school.
Terms.
Terms. Yeah, at the beginning of a term, you would get like you would get sent home with a bunch of forms and your parents would like fill out if they want like white milk or chocolate milk and then like how often you want it and stuff. And like you prepaid for that and then you send the form in so you when the milk monitors or what you call milk monitors come in they distribute it to you but like reflecting back on this and I was talking to Maggie earlier about this like it feels very like forced and like there's some like social economic injustice that it caused within children because like think about it like the people who like I felt like I was forced to get milk even though it was such a ripoff. It was like $1.25 for like the 250 milliliter carton of milk because like everyone else in my class got it. And like it was like a cool thing to get distributed milk during that time. But like if you didn't have money as a parent and like your child was like, "Oh my God, please, I need the milk and everything." Like that's like a difficult decision to make. And then if you're the child not getting the milk during that time, like you felt shitty about it. You're like, "Oh, why don't I get milk?" And you have to like make excuses, be like, "Oh, I don't like milk," or like milk from home.
Lactose intolerant.
Yeah, that too. Like, what about the lactose intolerant people? There was no lactose intolerant milk when we were younger. But like, why would
Yeah.
you even have milk monitors in the first place? Like, what was the point of distributing
It's a weird
milk?
concept. Yeah, just milk in general. Like I think I had a juice box for lunch and I wait, I don't think I drank throughout the day. I think I just had one juice box at lunch.
Maggie,
Um,
the dehydrated child.
like I literally do not remember drinking anything else other than like one juice box throughout the day. And I'm like, maybe that's why I'm so thirsty now. Like literally I have like a lot of water going on. Um, so I'm like, this is weird. But I guess like it's good. Or you could just like literally give your kid like a bag of milk and be like, hey, this is your milk for the day. This is way cheaper than $1.25 of this much milk.
I
Like almond
never
milk.
realized how important it was to drink water until like the second year of university. Like,
Me too.
no. Like no one told me this. Like we never learned about this in school. Like my parents didn't really teach me about it that you needed to drink like a sufficient amount of water each day. Like there was the whole like 8 glasses, but like who really pays attention to that? And that's been debunked anyways. But I remember when I first started drinking a lot of water, I would go to the bathroom a lot more and I was like, this is strange. Is there something wrong with me? And then when I looked back and I was like, oh no, I was just drinking water properly for the first time in my life.
Yes, it is very important to drink water, and I also found out way too late, but I think it wasn't anything, like, natural that I was like, "I'm gonna go drink some water." I think it's just like, "Ugh, I don't, like, wanna pay for anything else," and, like, everything else, like, tastes kinda gross in my mouth. I used to drink a lot of Diet Cokes, and I would
Mhm.
get nosebleeds from it.
Oh my God. Are
And I
you
was like, "I wonder why I
serious?
keep getting nosebleeds." Me on my 3rd Diet Coke of the day.
Oh my God. That is such a fun fact to learn about you.
Yeah. Like, sometimes I will still drink, like, a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi here and there, but if you see me going for more than one, maybe, like, tell me to stop. Also, fun fact, elementary school, I used to get a lot of nosebleeds. I'm just remembering this now. Like, a lot. Like,
I
something like, I should have gone to see a doctor.
I like how we're like slowly opening this vault of hidden memories inside Maggie's head about who she was in elementary school.
It's, like, things that I blocked away that I'm like, "Oh, wait, I remember, like, very distinctively leaning over sinks all the time during class because I kept getting nosebleeds."
Did your like teachers ever tell you to like tilt your head back when like people get nosebleeds and everything? Like,
No, they told me to lean over the sink.
okay, we were just given very bad advice. I actually never have gotten a nosebleed before, and I used to be jealous of the kids who got nosebleeds because I was like, is this normal? Because everyone got one like in during the school year, and I was like, why don't I get them? Like, am I weird? But
I'm
apparently,
gonna tell you now, no. You're normal.
yeah. Why did all the kids in my elementary school get so many nosebleeds?
I
Are
was the
they
only one who kept getting nosebleeds, and also, like, I have really bad allergies, like, every September or something, so I'd be that weird person, like, carrying around a tissue box, not, like, leaving it at my desk, like, carrying it around with me.
you still do that? You did that in high school.
I did that in university too, like, in my backpack, I had a tissue box ready to go.
I did that I started doing that in university too because I got when you're around a lot of people, you get sick a lot.
Yeah, like, it's a cesspool, like, kids are
Yeah.
gross. Kids of all ages people are gross, sorry, not even kids. People are gross,
Yeah.
um, and you're gonna get sick, so tissue box is always convenient. Elementary school, I remember being, like, a huge teacher's pet too. Like, I remember I tried so hard to get all the teachers to like me. People did call me out on it too. It was, like, pretty rough. Um, but yeah, I just, like, wanted to be, like, so bad, and I always wanted to participate. Um, I don't know why, I just carries over to now. People pleasing.
Mhm.
Messed up.
Middle child syndrome.
Middle child syndrome is right. You were not a teacher's pet?
I was not. I was not very good at school. I got like B minuses and C's all through like elementary school and middle school.
You get grades in elementary school?
Mhm. Well, I mean, in kindergarten I did really well, and then like in grade 1 I
Wow.
did well, and then like slowly I did a lot worse. I was not a
I
good student.
remember this. I remember I got a C for the first time in grade 2 math because I was put oh my god, remember split classes?
Yeah.
So, how they worked was, like, if you were a good kid and I guess they didn't have enough staff to go around, they would put, like, 2 grades in the same class. So, I was put in a grade 1, 2 class. I was the grade 2, and my mom hated it. She was like, "No, like, you're not gonna get enough attention, like, this is not good for you." And I was like, "No, no, this is great. This is fine." And I got, like, a C in math, and my mom was crying. She was so upset. She went to go see the teacher, and the teacher was like, "Yeah, like, she makes up a lot of excuses a lot for why her math homework isn't here." And I'm like, "Hmm, yeah, that's right. I usually go to sleep." Yeah, and then since then, I became, like, a huge teacher's pet, and I'm like, "Okay, grades matter. Gotta get an A."
I we had split classes too, but it was not because you were a good kid. You were just like one teacher would just have both like a grade 1 or grade 2 and grade 3 or like grade 1 and grade 2 class, but like those were terrible. Like we had those because we didn't have enough teachers. But like
Mhm.
if you were in a split class and you were in the younger grade, like great because you got like exposed to like the next level of like whatever you were learning, right? But if
Yeah.
you're in a grade 2 in a grade 1 with like grade 1s, you kind of like you don't progress as well as like
Yeah.
the other grade 2s.
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty like they try to market it as like, "Oh, your kid is like so independent, like like self-sufficient. We don't need to watch it as much. It's going to be fine in a split class." But really, I don't think you're great.
I think
Um
it was just a way for the government to cut money
yeah,
for
100%.
teachers and everything, and we kind of suffered because of it.
The classes were huge. Like it's obviously going to be so chaotic. Like kudos
Hmm.
to all the teachers who could control us back then because it was rough. Um but I do have fond memories of some of my split classes. Like in elementary school, I was always so aside from the 2, 1, I was put in grades 4, 5, I think. And then yeah, you're right. I always like did the grade 5 stuff and then they put me in grade 6 stuff because they were like, "Oh, you are advanced." To me, it wasn't advanced because to my mom, I was like, "Oh, you're kind of dumb. Like this is like other Vietnamese kids like know way more than you." So to me, I was like, "Oh, everyone else is like maybe dumber than me."
I was told to like study the multiplication tables by my
Me
parents.
too.
Like they would force me to like memorize like at least up to 9.
Me
Um,
too. My brother did that to me, Hugh.
doing something fun or like I'd be helping them cook or something. And they'd be like, okay, what's 9 times 9? What's 5 times 9? What's like 6 times 9 or something? And like, or I'd have to recite it back to them.
Oh my god, Hugh was the worst at this. Like, he would, like, yell at me, like, I would cry. Like, anytime we did math homework together, I would cry because he was, like, horrible to me. To him, he was like, "This is how I tutored, like, this is me teaching, you're just stupid." But to me, it's like, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing in the world." Like, I'm convinced I don't actually know how to do math. I think I just memorized it because multiplication times tables, I can, like, repeat it out quickly. Like, Mad Minutes, it's where you have, like, 60 questions and you have to complete it in a minute. I'm like, yeah, I can do this easily. I'm convinced it's because I haven't memorized. It's in my head. This brain space here.
I can't believe he became a tutor. Like he was like, yeah, I was so good at tutoring my younger siblings. They cried, but this is the path I want to go.
Yeah, I think it's just family. Tutoring family is always going to be tricky. I like to think he's nicer to his students than he was to me.
I
But also, I
sure
was
hope
probably,
so.
yeah, I'm sure I was also like a bad student too. I just did not want to listen.
Yeah.
Anytime he had to explain math stuff to me, he was like, okay, let me put this in your terms. Nick Jonas has 3 buses.
Wow, you're into pop culture like very early, weren't you?
And I'm like, ah, yes, I get it.
I my parents taught me like or like I would ask them for help with math and stuff, but I ended up stopping because like every single time they get so fed up with like teaching me math. Like so I there was one time where I asked my dad how to like do something and like he got mad at me because the way that I wrote my fours wasn't clear and then he thought it was
God.
another number or something and then he had to like he made me write like 100 times how to write a four properly because he was like, this is not how you write a four. The rebellious side of me was like, no, I'm not going to write it this way. I'm going to write it my way, even though he made me write it 100 times.
That is very picky.
Yeah. This reminds me of like, do you remember cursive in like grade 3 or whatever?
Oh yeah, that useless skill.
Yeah. They were like, you need to, like, people would always be like, why would I need to learn this? And they're like, you're going to need to learn this. Like, everything in the world is going to be cursive when you grow up. And then they scrapped it a year later.
Yeah, waste my time. 20 whatever, 2000 and something.
For us, how we learned it was like we traced over letters, and that was like our homework.
So you're basically saying elementary school is a waste of my time. It was just free babysitting. I learned cursive for nothing. Multiplication times tables. I don't need this at all in life. Why do I have this memorized?
Yeah, honestly, the direct multiplication timetables didn't really don't really help much. Like that I have not once been like, "Oh yeah, like I'm so happy I know what 4 times 9 is."
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna stop you right there, but that's not the right answer. In my meetings, 2 times 4. Okay, we gotta listen to this. Yeah, no, no one's gonna take me seriously. Yeah, I remember even like showing homework or projects to my mom or whoever. Like they were like, "Oh, this is like horrible. Like, why would you do this?" And I would be forced to stay up to redo it until they were okay with it.
That wasn't helpful. Like I like people are like or parents are always like, "Oh, you'll look back on this and be like, "Oh, I'm so glad that my parents made me do this and everything." I'm like, am I glad my dad made me write 4 100 times? No, I'm not. Am I glad I like remember the multiplication tables? Like, no. But
Yeah,
will I
no,
make
I
my kid do it? Maybe.
well, that's the tricky part. I like every day I feel like I'm turning more into my mom and it
Hmm.
terrifies me. So
Yeah,
I'm like, am
me
I
too.
gonna be like this too to my kids? I was yelling at Nick outside the other day. Not the other day, a while ago. And my neighbor was like, "Holy shit, Maggie, is that you? I thought you were your mom." I'm like, oh my God. I sound like my mother. This is not good.
Which is like not bad because your mom's like very attractive. So like not the worst thing to be compared to.
Sound like my mother.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember anyone complimenting your mom's voice, but I'm sure it's lovely.
Okay. Sure. My mom has like kind of an accent too, not a thick one. So I'm always like, huh, do I have an accent when I speak?
Maybe when you yell.
I have a fake Vietnamese accent that comes out.
So, oh my God,
Is
how
this
bad would
culture
that be?
appropriation?
How bad would that be? Oh my Lord. So, like, I guess going back to elementary school, were you ever forced to go outside when it was like freezing cold?
Yes, I hated it. I think they have like 2 recesses a day, right? Or whatever breaks. I was okay with it normally, like, I would happily go outside and take walks, whatever. But, like, during the winter, it's, like, freezing cold up here in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and in the past too, it's pretty cold, like, yeah, you have coats and snow pants, but, like, who wants to be outside in, like, -10 degrees with, like, a high wind chill? No one. Like, that's why I take the bus to school. Like, what do you think, people? And if the
Yeah.
teachers also aren't all outside because like one of or two of them has to be monitoring. Everyone else is happily inside. Why are you gonna force the kids to go outside? Like I get it, you want your break, but I don't want to die.
So for us, it's like if it wasn't -15, not accounting for wind chill, like the weather had to be -15, we had to go outside. Like it didn't matter if it was -14, we were still outside.
That's stupid.
And it didn't matter if the wind chill made it -30, still outside. And like I guess some kids like really enjoyed being outside and stuff, but like me, I hated it. I still don't like the cold that much. So I'd hide in the bathroom, but then a
Me
teacher came in one
too.
time and then the teacher was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm going to the bathroom." She's like, "You've been in here for like 20 minutes." I'm like,
Yeah, it's called stomach
"Uh."
issues.
I don't understand. Like you get in trouble for trying to stay inside, but like your natural response is trying to stay warm. Like I was freezing my fingers off.
Yeah, that's such a weird concept to me that like no, I feel like no kid is gonna say no to going outside, you know?
I tried.
Like, it's like you don't have like, we didn't have electronics back in the day, like, there was nothing you could have done inside.
Yeah.
So, the fact that a bunch of kids were like, "No, I'm going to hide inside," like, maybe there is a flaw here. There is a flaw in this system.
Yeah.
But I got so many talkings too because I was, like, notoriously known for hiding inside when it was cold. At school systems, if it's cold outside, let the kids stay inside.
Yeah, or let the kids that want to stay inside. Because like, there
Yeah.
are kids who like to play outside in the cold.
Yeah, well, to those kids today, how are you doing? Are you alive?
They are the same
Good.
people who wear shorts in the winter.
Ah, we get it. You're a man. You have a big penis. Good for you.
But when it was, I guess, nicer out, like, in my elementary school, like, this was, like, maybe, like, grade 3 to 5, we had, like, these squares on, like, the playground and stuff, and we would always play, like, Foursquare, like, where you'd bounce the ball, and then you have to catch it and, like, bounce it to someone else, but if you don't catch it, then you're out.
We played that in middle school. In elementary school, we did not have anything like that. Or if we did, I was not included. Sad.
We I think for us, like, we specifically had those drawn out, but then when I went to a different, like, middle school, they, like, didn't have that or something. Yeah, or I didn't have friends. I don't know, one or the other. It was like we got very aggressive with Foursquare because, originally you're just supposed to, like, tap the ball and then, like, if they don't catch it, like, you're supposed to hit, like, obscure corners in their thing so they don't catch it, right? Kind of like playing tennis, I guess. But, what we would do with it is, like, we would literally slam the ball into their, like, quadrant, and then we had to go, like, multiple feet back to, like, catch it the thing that was, like, propelling through the air, and if you don't catch it, then, like, you're out and stuff, and that's, like, how we ended up playing it rather than, like, throwing it at each other. I think we got it banned eventually. Unrelated, I'm sure.
Uh, that did not happen to us. We did play Foursquare more in middle school, I think was when we got into it. Yeah, middle school was, like, very, like, high on puberty for me. because
Yeah.
like anytime like someone saved me from getting out, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in love with them." But like every day I basically had a new crush. But yeah, I remember like being way more physically active in middle school. Also, wait, was gym class a huge thing for you too? Like you hated gym class?
Yeah, I in high school is when I got my first ever A in gym.
Oh, that was my first B in gym. That was the
Got a
highest
B
mark
in
I ever
gym.
got.
Gym was so easy. All you had to do was do the thing. Like that's all she marked you for.
I either got a 78 or an 82.
I
I
got a
cannot
92
remember.
in gym.
What
And
the hell?
I
So
don't
funny.
understand. Were we in the same gym class? I'm pretty sure
Yes.
we were. Yeah.
We
All you had to
That's so
do
funny.
was okay.
Show
Well,
up. Basically, you just had to
yeah.
show up.
All you had to do was show up and then like pretend that you're like playing or like be sort of engaged in the like sport that we were playing that
Yeah,
week.
you didn't actually have to play. You just had to look like you wanted to play.
Yeah. Oh
And I
my
think
God.
maybe that's the secret to elementary school and middle school gym class. Because if you were cool, if you were good at gym class and you really wanted to play, you were the cool one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was always like the nerd because I was always like, nope, don't want to play. Please don't pass me the ball. I cried when someone passed me the ball and I threw it the wrong way because they were like, Maggie, what the hell? And I was like crying in tears, like, I'm so sorry.
For us, we were marked on how well we would do the sport. So like if we played hockey, we had like a bunch of hockey guys in like our city and like at our school and everything. So like obviously they would do really well, right? So if you didn't play the sport well, then you were marked down for it. Like I think I perpetually got like B pluses and Bs in gym in
Wow.
school because like I couldn't do the sport well. Like I don't know how to do these tricks in hockey and everything or like
Yeah.
I don't have an arm to be able to throw like dodgeballs and like whip it at people.
Soccer was the worst because I don't know when, but people found out about slide tackles.
I know.
And I feel like you shouldn't do that to other people who don't play soccer. So I was most of the time physically injured in gym class for
Speaking
the
of
high school.
things to ban or like things that got banned in my middle school was Red Rover.
What's
So
Red Rover?
for those who have never played it, what you do is like you hold hands with two people beside you, unless you're at the end, and there's two different teams, right? And then what you would do is like say, like one side would say like Red Rover, send someone over. And what they would do is someone would come running at like your chain, like where like you're holding hands with someone else, and like it's kind
Oh,
of like a like uh
break the chain kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. So the point was it's like to see if they ran through, then like you had to send someone over to their chain. But then if if like they couldn't break your chain, which someone didn't, and then that's why the game got banned, they would have to join your side. So what ended up happening was this guy ran full speed at at me and this other person, and then he got clocked so hard that he flipped and then landed on his back. He walked it off as like a middle schooler would because you're young and your bones are fine. But after that, the game got banned and we were never allowed to play it again.
Wait, this happened to me in elementary school. Like we played a game called Nail the Nerd in gym class, and it's
Jesus.
basically three teams, two are on each side. One person has to run through, and the two teams just have to keep throwing balls at the one person running through. Like I don't know how you would win because like you can't dodge all those balls. There's literally two like 10 kids on each side throwing balls at you and one person running through trying to not get hit. So obviously, I tripped and fell on a ball, face planted on the gym floor. I got nosebleed, not one, but two nosebleeds. Both nostrils were bleeding. My tooth was dented. My lip was swollen. My eye was like kind of shut. Like it was very bad. There was a lot of blood, and we still continued playing like it was nothing. They didn't even call my parents.
I don't understand. Were
We
you
just
just
came home with
so
like a messed up face, and they're like, "What happened?"
did your mom not like raise hell?
No, she was like, "Well, this happens." But to be fair, like I got injured a lot in gym class, so what can
And
you do?
yet you still did not get an A. This is an
Yeah,
injustice.
this is an injustice. I have a bone to pick.
Oh, And speaking of injustices, did you ever play Heads Up 7 Up?
Yes.
For those who never played it, you basically have like a team of 7 people, and everyone else in the class puts their heads down, and then that team of 7 people would like tap on you and then like when they tap on you, you put your hand up. The teacher says like heads up, and then if your hand is up and you were tapped, you have to try to guess who tapped you. And if you guess it right, then you switch places with that person. But then if you guess it wrong, then like the person then like nothing happens and the game continues. But like if you were popular, you would get tapped on like very often because like your friends would always choose you to tap on. But if you weren't, like it was like an honor and a privilege to be able to like make that like row of like 7 people. And like once again, just enforcing how like the bourgeois class just keep getting richer and the others just keep getting poorer.
To that point too, I remember looking back now, like the poorly behaved kids, like the teachers still loved them. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you were a good kid, you were basically pushed aside.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, you're like a good kid, like we don't have to worry about you." But all like the bad kids, like they kind of got more attention, and if they were kind of funny. And if they did like the bare minimum of work, they would usually get a higher mark than me, and that would kind of piss me off because I was like, "Hey, like I just stayed up all night with my mom doing this. She made me redo this. How come your thing got like way more applause than me?"
They'd also be like kind of like the class clowns too, right? They would always like cause like disruption in class and stuff, and the teacher would be like, "Stop it," or whatever. Like but they would never really get disciplined. Like they like
Oh
nothing ever
my god. I
came
have the
about.
funniest story for this.
Okay.
Okay, and it's also, like, one of my most embarrassing moments. So, in grade 3, we were having, like, the sit-down thing, like, the class sits on the carpet, she reads a book about bullying, and then, for some reason, like, I just, like, really had to sneeze, so I sneezed, but I also farted at the same time, and it was very, very loud. And then this kid turns around. He's like the class clown and he's like the popular one. And he turns around, points at me, he's like, "Who cut the stinky cheese? Maggie did." So then I ran to the bathroom crying and I'm like sobbing in tears. And then the secretary had to come, like, get me to come back to class. And then they had the boy like standing outside the bathroom. And he was like, "Okay, sorry, Maggie, for saying that." And I said, "No, I'm not accepting your apology. What the hell?" And then he went back to class crying, and then everyone gathered around him. Was like, "Oh my god, like Maggie's just mean. Like she should have accepted your apology. You can't believe like she would do that." And people got mad at me, and I was like, "Hey, what is this?" And yeah, that's my life of how I became the big stinky cheese.
That's the origins of your nickname that we all call you.
This is the origin of my supervillain story.
Honestly, that's probably better than other supervillain stories that we've heard.
That one kid has also ruined my life throughout middle school and elementary school, and we almost went to the same high school, and I am so glad we didn't.
Drop
Now
his
he's trying to
name.
be a SoundCloud rapper,
Oh,
so
okay. No, never
guess who
mind.
prevailed here?
Which I try to block out a lot of those memories because it was probably the worst time of like worst years of school. And if it wasn't your worst year of school, you're probably the reason that someone had their worst year of school. What about you?
I think it got better, like, throughout. Elementary school sucked. Middle school was okay. I think, like, I kind of fit in a little bit more.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I was also, like, like, you're going through a lot of teen angst. Like, girls go
Yeah.
through puberty a little bit sooner, so I think I was, like, kinda messed I think I was really mean too. Like, I thought that I was better than a lot of people where I'm like, "Oh, like, grades matter." Like, yeah, I'm, like, way smarter than you. Look at all the A's I get. And like, that stupid thing where teachers will, like, choose, like, the best work and, like, showcase it to the
Ugh.
class? And that was always me. And I was like, "Yeah, this is great." But now looking back, I'm like, "This just gave people a reason to, like, resent you." Like, why would
Yeah.
you compare kids like that? That's awful because I would get compared at home all the time to other people, and I hated it. So the fact that, like, going to school and I was, like, getting compared to, and I was like, "Yes, finally, someone likes me." Um, so that's a little bit messed up. But I did have, like, a couple of, like, really good friends. Shout out to Sally and Gabby. Yeah, like, I think it was a tough time, like, you're still trying to figure out, like, a lot of things, mostly, like, you're not really friends with these people, I
Mhm.
guess. You just kind of laugh at things. Like, they're kind of wrong, like, in storybooks, like, movies, TV shows, they're wrong, but then you go through them at school and you're like, "Oh, there's a gray line here. Do I laugh? Like, my friends are laughing, I guess I should laugh too."
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like I was like an overall shitty person. Like, Hormones are high. I messed up. Teen angst. I think
Remember,
I was shitty.
you either had a bad time in middle school or you're the reason why someone had a bad time in middle school. You were
I
the
think I was the
reason.
reason.
Yeah.
I think it was a mix. Like it wasn't great in middle school, but like I think I could have made it better for other people. Like I think I was kind of a shitty person. There was this one girl who was new. She was like a little bit weirder than like your average person, and she was like very clingy. And my weird pet peeve is like if someone is very clingy to me, like I freak out a little bit, and this happens like a lot in my life. Especially in middle school too, there were 2 very distinct people who I remember who were very clingy to me, and, like, I freak out, and then I think I kinda bully them a little bit because of it, like, I purposely will try to leave them out, and that's, like, kinda messed up of me, and, like, I'm glad that I'm reflecting on this now, but I'm like, "Damn, like, why did I do that?" And yeah, like, people would go along with it too, and I'm like, maybe I wasn't the one to start it, but maybe I shouldn't have done it either, and this is just, like, if I go to hell, this is probably why. This will be one of the reasons. So,
Yeah.
it just goes to show, like, not everyone is perfect.
You're
Yeah.
a bully. Oh my God, that's so funny because I never would have like, I guess, pictured you as this person, right? Because like your experience is the exact opposite experience that I had in middle school. Like you were the people who like tormented me, like in almost a very similar way.
But I wasn't cool, like, I wasn't considered cool, but I just was an asshole to people. Like, even the cool kids who would try to talk to me, I was like, "No, you're stupid. Why would I wanna talk to you?"
But then
Um,
like, were you the cooler kid?
no, I wasn't. We will have Sally on this because she can attest that we were not cool kids. I think I was just an asshole, and messed up, but, yeah, to clarify, I was equally mean to everyone, but those 2 people in particular, I was like I think, like, they got, like, on my nerves, like, if you follow me, like, 24/7 and you're around me all the time, I think I'm gonna crack.
Yeah,
I'm not victim blaming them at all. This was my fault.
honestly, if yeah, every time I, like, professed my love for Maggie, she'd be like, "Oh, we're moving too fast. I can't believe like, I don't know why you're doing this." But then every single time I say, like, anything where it's, like, remotely, like, offensive to her or something to indicate that I'm not clinging on to her, she's like, "What about me? Why don't you ever think about me?"
I am an
So
overall very hard person to please. There will be no pleasing me. I don't know what's wrong with me. Again, if you're a psychologist, reach out to me.
now we know what kind of person you were in middle school.
Messed up.
Like who I was in middle school was I was the shy kid. I was made fun of for having boobs before everyone else. Like was, I guess I
I
hit
remember this
puberty
phase.
sooner than
That's
a lot of
so weird.
people then. And then they would like make like weird comments about how my boobs would stick out in like shirts and stuff. And I was like, this is a very like reflecting back now, it's like this is a very weird thing to make fun of kids
Yeah.
about. Like you can't control this. This is also a good thing now. I'm not saying it's karma, but like 90% of them are flat now. So
Hey.
and they never really developed boobs, which sorry, I feel bad about it, but you did make fun of me for it, so shame on
They
you.
yeah, they got their thing. Yeah, I remember not me, I don't think me, but people would, like, comment when girls started getting boobs.
Mhm.
They would call them milk jugs
Ew.
or something like that, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, we're 10 years old, this is weird to comment on."
Or
Um,
like the sagginess where it's like there was like the song where it's like you can tie it in a knot, you can tie it in a bow, your boobs hang low
it's
or
so
whatever.
weird.
But that being said, let's move on to high school. Who were you in high school?
I was still struggling to find out who I was, I think. I think, like, the the rays of confidence, like, came in and out a lot. Um, but then I noticed something, like, I was a lot more quiet than I thought I was. Maybe that's just my own self-perception of me, but I was like, "Oh, shit, like, I did I peak in grade 8? Like, was I, like, way better? Like, was I smarter in grade 8 or something?" Because, like, grade 9 to grade 12, I was like, "Oh, I'm, like, a very, like, quiet person. Like, I don't talk that as much as I thought I did." Did you think too?
Like for
Describe how you saw me in high school, actually, because this is where
um
we met.
you were probably the most talkative person out of the group that we hung out with.
This is so funny.
I would say that you talked a lot. I would say you got along with teachers. I would say you like Like I was always hear about you because like we met in grade 9, but we weren't really friends until later. So I would always hear about Maggie and like things that Maggie did or like so
What's wrong with me? My self-perception is so weird. I was like, yeah, I'm like super quiet, right? You. No, you're not. Oh
like I would say you were probably the most outspoken person in that group.
my God, I did not think I was outspoken at all. Like there are so many times I'm looking back, I'm like, why didn't I call this person out? Like, why was I so shy and quiet about this?
I
So
mean,
this is hilarious to me
that's
that I am
different.
not quiet or shy.
Calling someone out is like different
Yeah,
than
okay, that's different.
but like yeah, I would not for one say like you ran to be like the head of a club in like grade 12. So I don't know why you would think that you were more shy and quiet.
I think maybe because like it was like a new environment. Like we were all I wasn't
Mhm.
used to being around like completely new people. I was used to being around people like I grew up with. So I was like struggling to find my voice, I think. Like I didn't know who I was because I felt like I was putting on like a different personality around like certain groups of people. Um
Mhm.
so that was kind of weird to me. But I also like our high school, I know we talked about it before, but it was like a lot more diverse than the kids
Yeah.
we grew up with. And like I was so happy because I always used to joke about like, yeah, applications for Asian friends. Like I want more Asian friends. Um and like high school was like great. Like this is where we met everyone. But maybe like we were I think most of us were only friends because we were Asian. And we went through the similar problem where our elementary schools had no diversity. So as soon as we found like other Asian people, we clumped together.
I didn't actually start hanging out with you guys until like grade 10. I I had a
Yeah,
different
true.
friend group in grade 9.
We were friends, but we weren't like super close.
Yeah.
We had a weird period where we didn't talk and we had
Yeah.
like different friend groups.
Yeah. I had like a different friend in each, or like I was close to a different person in each year of high school. A lot of the stuffs that we mostly just joked around. Like we still don't talk about like a lot of serious stuff, but like it was
What do you
more.
mean? What is this podcast?
we like we still like back in the day we like joked around a lot more and stuff.
Yeah,
But
that is.
apparently we still were close enough because and I don't have this memory, but Maggie does.
You
Um
came over to my house a lot. I have pictures on Facebook. I can send it to you.
apparently I blocked out like a lot of grade 9 cuz what like I guess like when I first started grade 9 I was like okay I'm going to try my best to like make friends, right? Because like all through elementary school, middle school, I didn't really have like a tight group of friends or like friends that I really like meshed well with. So and I was like I'm going to be popular. I'm going to be popular in high school. Um didn't really work out that way, but
That's so funny because I saw you as like kind of popular.
nice. So like grade 9 me was kind of
Right.
successful. I don't know, like I think with like grade 9 with high school, like I found more of who I was. Um like I became like a lot less of a shy kid.
It's funny because like in high school, like I thought you were like so cool. Like you clearly like to me, it never seemed like you were trying to fit in. I was like, oh my God, she knows exactly who she is. Like she is so cool. She has like she's friends with like everyone. Like everyone seems to know her. I thought your name was Cynthia for the longest time. And we had French class together too, and everyone just
Yeah.
like knew you and was talking to you. And I was like, what the hell? Did they all go to the same school? I don't know anyone here. Um, and yeah, that was kind of funny. And because like again, like we hung out with like Asians, like people would always say like, "Oh, I can't tell the Asians apart."
Yeah.
But they know who Wanda was because they also said Wanda was the tall one with boobs. Um and that was your big differentiator. Not
Yeah.
great again, but like that's how people knew you.
That's terrible.
This is
Well, like
terrible, but like they were like, "I can't tell the Asians apart, but I know who Wanda is and I like her."
oh, I guess. Oh, like I don't know.
Oh, oh, but also
I don't know how to feel about this. Like a lot of emotions coursing through me because no one ever told me this, or someone
I
did, and I just
thought
blocked it
you knew
out.
because wait, no one told you?
Um, either someone did and I never like I just forgot about it because it was so weird, or no one told me about it.
So Wanda, what were your memorable moments from high school?
So I don't actually remember this moment, but Maggie says this happened in high school and not my middle school. But I was voted best hair. And I really love my hair. So that was like a very, I guess, good moment for me. And like apparently Maggie says that she was voted best smile at the same
What do you
time.
mean apparently?
I don't
I
know. There's
literally
no
have
proof.
this.
There's no
I
proof.
literally have proof. Picture here. There will be pictures of the two of us here.
Oh God. Is it a good picture of me?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay,
But
then
also remember that you had side bangs.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Uh,
good is up for debate.
yeah. Remember when side bangs were a hairstyle? Anyways,
But yeah, that's why I'm saying it was grade 9 because I don't remember having superlatives in middle school. We had superlatives in high school though.
I feel like we might have had it in middle school as well. I might have been voted best hair twice. So that is
Oh,
even better for
that's
my
how you know.
self-confidence.
Reaffirmation. Yeah. Yeah, the next thing I got was most likely to be a fascist dictator. So
Mm, yeah, also fair. If you knew her in grade 12 when she was running the club, very, very fair.
I like to think I have grown, but then nothing changed in university, which we will say for another time. Um, but yeah, I guess that old habits die hard. I don't know. Would you say I changed a lot since high school?
No,
What?
I don't.
I stayed the exact same since high school.
I, what do you think has
I
changed
have
since
a
high
lot to
school?
reflect. I think I'm way cooler now.
I think your sense of humor got better. And I think you joke about like funnier stuff now. Um, but I think you're still like the same. Your personality is mostly the same. You're still the same outgoing, like driven person, fascist dictator of a leader. So
Am I prettier?
yeah, I would. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Well, because I had to ask, now I think it's no.
we weren't asking about like how you looked. You were asking about like personality.
A shitty personality in high school, so
I
this
don't
is a
think so.
rude wake up call. This episode is just called Maggie bashing.
High school. I think you were bigger. You were a bigger people pleaser back then. Like you call people out a lot more, and you say no better now than you did back then. You ended up doing a lot of things yourself because of it, rather than like relying on other people too.
This is why whenever someone does anything remotely nice for me, then I fall in love with them. But yeah, I think you changed a lot too. I think you were pretty wild in high school. Not wild, but I think you were like I don't know, like teenagery, which is fair, I think, because of high school. But I think you're like more quiet. Not
Now,
by a yeah, I think you're quieter now. I think
that's
you like
funny.
take the time to reflect more.
I was very touchy in high school. I really, which is like the exact opposite person I am now. I used to give
I'm
like
touchy.
I don't know, like I used to like hug a lot of people.
You
Um,
have never hugged me once in your life.
okay, wait. I hugged a lot of people from behind because they were shorter than me.
I am shorter than
You're not
you.
that much shorter than me. I'm talking about like 5 foot, like 2 shorter than me. I was scared of you, I think. Like I thought, because you were kind of like the leader, I guess, of like the Asian group. Like a lot of people did what you did or like followed what you did in a way. So like I was very scared to not impress you.
I remember someone had told me this too.
Oh,
I think it
nice.
was really big in grade 9
Hmm.
because like everyone like didn't know each other, but I was like the common
Yeah.
person for everyone. And Sally was saying to me, Sally was like one of my best friends growing up, and still is to this day, our mutual friend. Um, and she was like, "Yeah, like you got up to go to the garbage, and like everyone followed you to go to the garbage can, and that was like super messed up." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I did not notice this. I guess I just have like cult leader traits."
This actually like I would even say grade 9 too. I would even say like grade 12. Like I'd always want to like go to Sunnyside with you, which was like a breakfast place, or like skip class to like play president with you. Although that might have
With
been for
me,
myself.
I feel like that was more for you than for
Yeah.
me.
Okay, maybe just the going to Sunnyside. Like I always wanted to be in that in group of like the friends that you took to Sunnyside. And like I would be like so sad if when you went like without me.
But to be fair though, like that friend group and like what the bad student thing like amplified in grade 12.
Yeah.
Like there are people in
Senioritis.
that friend group today we're not even friends with. So I think it's just like the whole senioritis thing. Like you get like rose-colored glasses, you start to be nicer to everyone, things get better.
There's some people that I hung out with because of they hung out with like you guys. Like they weren't
Me
necessarily
too.
because I liked hanging out with them, and it would be very
Me?
awkward if I hung out with them one on one, but I did it because it was like a group setting and like they were friends with like other people in the group, and I wouldn't want to be like, oh no, you can't invite that person.
Yeah, I would very rarely hang out with like the only people I would hang out with one on one was like you, Sally, and like a
Yeah.
couple other people from that group. There were like maybe 10 people in that group,
Yeah.
and I did not hang out one on one with any of them. It
Yeah. Because it was just like, it was not,
was weird.
yeah, it was. And like, I don't even, like, now thinking back, like, I don't even know how they became part of the group, anyways.
Yeah, see, that's why my whole thing is like grade 12, like random shit happens. You just become nicer to people.
I also really like skipping class. Like, so our school would call every time you skipped a class. And so, like, every time I'd go home, every single day on my answering machine, it'd be like, your child, Wanda, skipped first, first class of the day or whatever. I don't know. And then be like, or like some days it'd be like, skipped class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Be like, why did you even go to school?
Yeah,
What was the point of this?
I don't know. Sometimes I just went to school to hang out with people rather than like wanting to go to
Learn.
class.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should clarify. We skipped class because we knew what we were doing. Like we did not let
Yeah.
our grades flip.
Yeah.
That's the key thing here. We still got into universities. We still did great honor roll students. Please do not skip if your grades are bad. So from high school, I don't know about you, but I would say like a lot of lifelong friendships came out of high school.
My best friends now are friends I made from high school.
Oh, you have more than one best friend other than me?
You literally just said that Sally is your lifelong best friend.
Uh,
So,
if you go back in time and you met me when we were 10, then you would also be in this category.
so I can never be in this town. This is like when DW and Arthur was like, I'll never be his age. He'll always be older than me. You know, like I would never be able to go back in time to be your friend in grade 10. Also, you might have bullied me when you were 10.
No, I doubt it. We would have been friends. I like to think we would have been friends.
You know what? I am taking you, like, I'm not saying best friends anymore. It's just going to be the friends that
Oh
I
my
hang out,
God.
the friends that I hang out
Fine.
with most are the
Uh,
friends that,
I'm gonna get demoted, aren't I?
yes, are the friends that I made in high school. Like, we still very often, like, meet up and stuff. We
Mhm.
chat.
Yeah, I agree. Would you go to a high school reunion?
Yes, I would go to a high school reunion. I think there's a few people in high school I definitely want to see again that I haven't like seen for a long time, just to see like how they're doing and everything. Maybe if I'm successful, I'll go, but if I'm not, then maybe I'll skip out. What
I
about
have
you?
this weird thing where it's like keep moving forward. So like if I didn't see you or talk to you, probably not gonna talk to you again. So I'm just gonna keep
Wow.
moving forward. No, but like you know what I mean? Like it's in the past. Like why do I want to go into the past and be like, "Huh, remember these days? Which is what we're doing now, actually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you're learning a lot about yourself.
Okay, so maybe I would go to a high school reunion.
If
Maybe this would
I
be
if
beneficial.
I go, you're going. Like you know
Yeah,
that,
pretty.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Large majority of our high school graduating class still hang out together. It's weird because like I kind of judge them for hanging out, but then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm them.
I don't know why you would judge them. Like friends can come from all walks of life.
Yeah, it means like, oh, like you didn't make any other friends, huh? You suck.
You hang out with
Also
us
me.
more than
Yeah.
you hang out with all of your other friends. I
This
literally
is
talk
very
to you
true.
every single day.
This is true. As you can tell, I have a warped self-perception.
Like, especially in 20 years, like, we haven't even been out of high school for that long. We've only been out of high school for like 7 years. So, like, think about how different life is going to be in 13 years from now. After all this reflecting, what do you think was your favorite period of school and why?
High school, 100% high school. I think that was when I found like a solid group of friends. I had a better idea of who I was. I was less of a psychopath. There were things that I like etiquette that I knew what to say and what to not say. Specifically grade 12. Not that I would ever go back, but I think it was like a solid thing it happened. It was cool. It's great.
Yeah,
How about you?
definitely high school. definitely grade 12 was when I probably like found who I was, found a good group of friends, like Maggie mentioned, stopped getting bullied, got voted best hair.
What was the worst for you?
100% middle school, hormones, puberty. I had an emo phase during middle school as well, around grade 7ish. So I like really was into like teasing my hair and like those like honestly, who didn't have an emo phase really, except
Me
Maggie? But like
and
who else?
Sally?
Yeah, but I was like, I the whole dark eyeliner thing, and I was like the whole emo scene stars and everything. Like I was obsessed with them. Like if you guys remember, like Alex Evans, I think was his name, super big on the scene, boys scene.
I have
But
no idea who this is.
okay, well you'll know him if you had a scene phase. But yeah, so kind of like very weird. Didn't know who I was, couldn't find myself, didn't really have like a good group of friends and everything. Lots of bullying happened, boobs, um, just a whole bunch of issues. What about you?
I would say elementary school was the worst for me because I never really fit. Like I had friends, but I never really fit in with them. I don't think. Um, and I think like I had more issues. Like I think people sucked more. Middle school, like at least it was a little bit better, and I was more happy.
A lot of bullying through my life. Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
people.
geez.
Kids are
I
mean.
mean, like it's weird because like I do have very vivid memories of racism in middle school,
Hmm.
but I was still like, oh yeah, like this is normal. It's okay. It's not normal. It's not okay. But like I at the time, like it's still hard for me to see that as bullying because I was so used to it and because I made the same jokes too. And now
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, this is bullying. Like this is not right. Like calling people racist or like saying these racist comments like that. Um, and it's still like weird because you're in your 20s now, and now you're looking back and like, oh shit, was that bullying? Were people bullying me?
Hmm.
But you were like, this is like straight up bullying to me. So to me, it's like I'm very self aware that I'm like I was part of the problem.
I guess with that, what advice do you have for people who are in elementary school, middle school, and high school?
Hang in there. That's my only advice. Try to be a little bit nicer. Like in any way you think you're nice, dig a little bit deeper. Um, like we all have like warped self perception. Clearly, I am an example of this. What about
Yeah.
you?
You can make friends from all walks of life. You don't have to be friends or continue staying friends with your childhood friends, but you also don't have to wait until university to make friends. Like, friends can happen at any time as long as you're open for it. And I think, although this is kind of cheesy, I think you need to really open yourself up to the possibility of making friends. Like, I what changed for me in high school in comparison to all those years was like I was determined to make good friends. And I was like determined to have people who would like I don't know, be there for me always, who like I actually enjoyed talking to and everything rather than like just having people to hang out with like for lunch or something. And like even though it took like a while to get to I guess Maggie, it was like still worth it, and I don't know if I would have gotten there if I wasn't determined to make friends and open
That's good
myself up.
advice. But also, we were like friends throughout high school,
Please.
and you just I need to send you more pictures. Um,
I we weren't like we were close in high school, but we weren't as close as we are
we
now.
slept in the same bed. Like, how much closer do
We
we need to get?
I would just like to say that when I slept over at Maggie's house one day, like one day
One day.
in grade 9, she fell asleep before everyone else and we didn't know where to get blankets and everything. We couldn't wake her up, so we had to use the couch cushions as blankets and freeze because she fell asleep before all of us and did not get us pillows or
Hey,
blankets.
listen, this was our first time drinking. Also, for legal reasons, we are of age.
Yeah, this was not great. We were 18. No, we were 19 years old in grade 9. We weren't doing so hot in the grades department. Also, don't skip school if you can help it. You can always hang out with your friends after school.
Yes, 100%. Stay in school, kids. Do not drop out.
Yeah.
Also, if you're looking for any friends, like hit us up in our DMs, like message us. Like we'll have you on the podcast or something. We'll hang out with you, we swear.
I guess the other thing is that like marks aren't everything.
Mhm.
They matter in 11 to 12 if you want to get into like a university, which is like, it's kind of shitty that you're evaluated, your worth is evaluated on your marks. But like
Yeah.
any year before that, like there's no need to like have anxiety over like checking your marks like I did. Like I had really bad mark anxiety and I still do because like I couldn't, if I didn't know, then I was okay. But if I did know, I was like, I'd be upset about it, right? So like I just constantly did not look at my marks. Matt always makes fun of me or made fun of me in like university because he's like, you had to have looked. There's no way that you didn't look. And I'm like, for real? Like I haven't looked for like 3 months because like I don't want to know because once I know I'm gonna be angry about it or something.
Okay, now you just opened another like box inside me that I had so much great anxiety. I cried so many times over marks.
Yeah,
But so yes, great advice. Do not have don't stress about marks. I know it'll be hard if you have like an upbringing
parents.
like ours,
Yeah.
Asian parents, or any immigrant parents really. But
Hmm.
also if you have high standards too, I know it's very hard. But seriously, don't stress out. Chill. It's better to chill now than get to our age and stress out about this.
Yeah, like when you grow up, there's going to be so many other things that you like are going to need to stress about. Like, marks should not be one of them.
Yeah, like how many tears I wasted over grades. I cried over a B before or a C. I've cried over every single grade you can imagine. Well, there was a lot of things we touched on here. Question for you guys. What advice do you guys have? Did you have similar childhoods to us? Did this resonate with you? Did it not? Do you have different advice? Drop it down in the comments for our elementary school listeners and middle school listeners and high school listeners.
And also, stay tuned for part two of this, where we talk about university and what that was like. Listen to us wherever you get your podcast, follow us wherever you get your social media. Feel free to get the full effect on YouTube. Thanks for joining us today.
Bye.
Bye.